What is good, everybody on YouTube? This is your boy Akil McLeod back with another live video. Just trying to see who's in the chat. Let's see who's going on. We got Bounty Nomad in here. Peace from Nomad. Let's see. We got a couple other people in here saying the finds are amazing, coming off a great week. That's what's up. That's what's up. Starting off the video with some positivity, with some good energy. That's what's up. So like you guys know, I do these live shows every Thursday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Sometimes I might get in a little late, sometimes 6:10, 6:15, but bear with me. It's always some technical difficulties going on behind the scenes, but it is what it is. We are here. We are live. Drop a comment if you guys can hear me well, see me clearly. Let me know if there's no buffering and stuff like that. I know last week's live show had a lot of buffering and stuff like that. So just drop a comment, let me know, and then we can proceed with the live show. Didn't necessarily prepare a whole bunch of like notes and stuff like that, a complete agenda like I did last week. Just kind of we're gonna just kind of free flow a little bit. I'll take some questions from you guys. I'll be on here for about an hour, maybe about an hour and a half, depending on the amount of questions that I get, of course. And like I said, it's going to be mainly reseller, entrepreneur related questions. I'm also in the process of purchasing my first home, so if you want to chop it up about that as well, you can keep that conversation going in the comment section as well. Everybody's saying clean and clear, hear me well. Everything's good, sound and image. That's what's up. All right, good. I'm glad last week's, whatever buffering situation has come to a close, so we are all set. So like I said, as you guys are coming into the chat, drop a question. Let me know how your sales are going for the past couple of days, couple of weeks. Let me know how your fourth quarter has started off so far. I think we're officially in the fourth quarter, officially. So far for me, my sales have been pretty consistent. Last week I had a couple days where sales were kind of slow. I actually had a zero sale day. I remember somebody asked me a question this in a very long time, maybe a few episodes back. Somebody had asked me if I ever have days where I make zero sales, and I actually had a zero sale day last week. I think it was last week, Wednesday, where it was literally zero sales on eBay, zero sales on Poshmark. But it is what it is. It's just the life of an entrepreneur, just the life of an eBay reseller, Poshmark seller, whatever you want to call it. Some days the money is flowing, and then other days it's kind of slow. But it's a roller coaster ride, and it's just part of the ups and downs of just running your own business. You know what I mean? Let's see. Past week sales has been the biggest for me this year. That's what's up. The biggest so far, and that's the thing. Fourth quarter sales, as we continue to go into October and November, and of course right around Christmas, sales are going to be booming because people are just going to want to shop more, buying gifts for other people and stuff like that. So you definitely just want to make sure that you have a solid amount of inventory so you're prepared for the influx of sales, and you can just keep making that money. Now let's see. Someone says, do you pick up women's shoes from Ross, like heels, etc.? I actually don't pick up any. I pick up women's sneakers if I come across some 720s or any type of Air Max, or sometimes you might even find a pair of Jordans in Ross for women. You never know. You really never know what you can find. But I usually might get some boots, but never really heels or anything like that. That's not really my lane. And for me, I just try to stay in my lane. I never really did really well with selling women's heels. I'm not even familiar with the brands to look for, so I never even worry about it. Let's see. Someone asked, do you keep on getting offers or they started to go down? Do you keep on? So I don't get offers like that anymore, only because I don't accept offers in my store. Like very few, maybe 95% of my store is buy it now, and like 5% I would actually accept offers on items. And the items that I actually started to accept offers on, I actually put a ceiling on it. That way I wouldn't even get the offer if it's, say, if I have the item up for 200, I might put decline every offer less than 150. That way, the low ballers and people that are trying to get a super steal, they'll just get automatically declined. So that's done wonders for me. So that's just one thing you guys can consider as well. Mo said he sold 4 shoes today. That's what's up. 4 shoes. That's how you do it. Making those sales, making that money. 4 shoes is good. How long you been selling on online? More Mo. It's 4 shoes. You're doing good. Let's see. I know I seen another question. We got Emir saying when the sales are gonna pick up, is it kind of slow for me or is it normal? The sales are going to continue to pick up. Sales are, and it all depends on what you're selling, right? I always used to tell people, be prepared for fourth quarter is going to be huge sales, but the saying is tried and true. You got to make sure you're selling good quality stuff that people want. Not to say you can't sell used or thrifted items, because those things still sell depending on the brand. I know for me, I started to see a really big increase in sales once I started selling brand new tagged item during the fourth quarter. So you might want to take that into consideration. I don't know what it is that you're selling, but sometimes it might be some slow days. It's all about peaks and valleys with this reselling business. So some days might be a little slow, but trust me, it will definitely turn around as long as you're selling good quality stuff. That's the main thing. Pamela George just picked up 20 pairs of Uggs from Raw. Should I start listing them now or should I wait? 20 pairs of Uggs, that's what's up. I know if y'all followed the channel for a while, y'all know I was doing numbers last year with those Uggs when I first started getting into retail arbitrage. I haven't seen any Uggs in any of my Rosses. My Rosses are kind of slow right now. I've been going still, just trying to see if I can find anything, but it's been kind of slow. I've been hitting up the outlets a little more, and I've been seeing some more success. I'm even seeing more success in like Foot Locker and stuff like that, honestly. But if I were you, I'd probably just start listing those Uggs, especially if those are boots. I would just get them up and listed, make sure that they're priced competitively. One thing to consider as well right now, especially since it's like early September, mid-September, you might not want to necessarily base your pricing off of the last like 90 days. If anything, pay closer attention to the last month in terms of the comparative prices and the comparative sales, only because people wasn't willing to spend top dollar for Ugg boots in June and July. You know what I mean? Or even August for that matter. It's kind of tricky. So you might want to price your stuff kind of on the higher end because, of course, winter boots and stuff like that sell for more money during the winter. So just keep that in mind. But I would get them listed ASAP. I've been selling boots, jackets, stuff that you wouldn't think wouldn't sell until winter, but people are picking them up just so they can get their hands on the things that they need early. Let's see. Do you plan to drop ship, or do you want to buy pallets and break them down at your house and sell on eBay? I'm planning on. I know I'm eventually gonna have to go into Amazon, and Amazon is one of those platforms I was never really a big fan of. But if you're gonna start doing pallets and wholesale items like that, 95% of the times, those items that you're gonna get is gonna be best to sell on Amazon. So I'm definitely gonna have to get onto Amazon, try to start selling a little something here and there just so I can open up my account and try to get ungated from some items. That way next fourth quarter next year, I can be ungated to sell in toys and stuff like that. I was even in Ross today and I seen a lot of toys that was in there and I was scanning them with the Amazon seller app, and a lot of the stuff that I probably was ungated for before, now that we're in fourth quarter and they're gonna start seeing an influx of people shipping out stuff to Amazon FBA. Now I'm gated on toys, but before I never was. So I'm just gonna start to not necessarily stock up on items, but I'm gonna try to start selling items slowly but surely, build up my reputation on Amazon. That way for 2021 fourth quarter, I could be good to go and start making some money. So that's the game plan right now. I'm definitely gonna be breaking it down in the house, but once we do actually get a house, I'm gonna have a nice big garage. I'll be able to kind of maneuver differently in there, but that's the game plan for right now. Let's see. When buyers do not pay on eBay, does that impact the seller in any kind of way when canceling and relisting? So when this is the thing. This is going to be a super important tip for you, especially if you're just getting started on eBay. There's ways to cancel orders without necessarily getting that defect. So if a buyer doesn't pay for an item, right, you can either wait the 3 to 4 days and then open up an unpaid buyer case, and that way eBay will refund you your credits in terms of the fees. Because once the item sells, whether the buyer pays or not, eBay is going to charge you a fee. So you can either wait a few days and then get that fee refunded back to you, or you can cancel the order, but you just can't cancel the order and say that you're out of stock, or I think that's the main thing. You just can't say that you're out of stock. If you cancel and say there was a problem with the buyer's address, or you said I think there's three options: the problem at the buyer's address, out of stock, or I think that I can't remember the third option. But you just make sure you just don't choose out of stock, because if you choose out of stock, then that's going to be a defect on your part. So it's kind of tricky at first when it comes to eBay. I know a lot of people usually would cancel orders, and they'll rack up on those defects, and then they'll realize maybe 2-3 weeks later that their seller standard is below their seller performance is below standard. So definitely just make sure you don't choose that out of stock option, and you'll be safe. But one thing that I used to do, what I always would tell people, I use that out of stock option when you can go into your account into eBay. I think it's like your account settings, and you can click on that out of stock option, and that way when an item doesn't sell, say the item sells and the buyer doesn't pay, you can just change the quantity without necessarily having to relist the item over and over again. Drop a comment if that makes sense, but that's something I've been doing for a while. That kind of just makes the whole relisting process a lot easier. Not only does that hide your listings, but it makes it easy to just change your inventory options when buyers don't pay. Mr. Mo says, just under 1 year now. This will be my first fourth quarter. All right, well, that's what's up. You're selling 4 shoes today. I'm pretty sure you're going to be doing, depending on your inventory, you might be doing maybe another 4 or 5, maybe 10, 12 shoes, depending on your inventory as the fourth quarter progresses. But best of luck during the fourth quarter. Expect some big sales. Just be prepared for, make sure you got your shipping supplies and all those stuff on deck. Rock the Kick says, Uggs are fire, list them now. Absolutely. You just got to get them up. You know what I mean? Even if it takes a while for it to sell, you just want to make sure that it's up, it's listed, and it's ready to go. Let's see. I'm starting my business and I don't know what store to start at. Don't put too much pressure on the store aspect of it. You can just start without a store. I know eBay gives you 50 free listings, so just kind of tinker around with the 50 free listings. Anything after that, you're only going to spend maybe 15, about 25 cents per listing after that. So it's not going to be a ton of money that you're going to be investing whether or not you get a store. If you're just starting out, I would suggest you probably not even get a store for the first few months, just so you can see how much inventory you're going to be getting into your store on a regular basis. And that way you'll be able to make a better decision in terms of what store to purchase. Because if you purchase a store and you just do it monthly, that could be more money than it costs you if you were to just pay per each listing. So you definitely just want to take your time on that and make sure that you don't pick the wrong store. Just pick a store unnecessarily, because you got 50 free listings to take full advantage of. So just go ahead and do that. Got to start going to Nordstrom Rack and Saks Fifth Avenue. Absolutely. I was just in Nordstrom Rack. What was it? The day before yesterday, I was in Nordstrom Rack. I know they have that end of season clearance sale going on right now. The one in my area, the stuff was still super expensive. Even the clearance stuff was still really pricey. So I'm probably going to go back again, maybe next week, maybe in a couple of weeks, just to check it out and see. But the last time I went to Nordstrom Rack and I got a really good deal was when everything closed, and when they finally opened back up, everything in the store was like 40% off. So on top of the original clearance prices. So those were some really good deals. I picked up a bunch of Vans, picked up a bunch of Nikes. I got some really good shoes, brand new in box. So that was a really good deal. But outside of that, Nordstrom Rack, I usually don't get too much stuff. And I don't even know if we have a Saks Fifth Avenue in my area. I'll have to check, but I'm not even sure. Let's see. Any other sections I should start looking at while I source at Ross and Marshalls? I only look at shoes, but I noticed you just said you were in the toy section. Yeah, so I just checked. Honestly, I checked the toy section today only because I know there was another reseller in there, and he was just dumping a bunch of toys into his cart. And I guess he was scanning everything with the app. So it just made me want to check it out and see what he was selling. But for the most part, I usually would go to the shoes. Sometimes I would check the fitness section, because lately a lot of the fitness equipment was selling for some good money on eBay, especially while the gyms were closed. Now the prices are kind of balancing itself back out. So I wouldn't suggest trying to sell a bunch of kettlebells and stuff like that for a ton of money. But the shoes, I'm definitely still checking the clothing section, especially if I can find some dope Nike sportswear stuff. Those stuff still sell really well. But shoes, toys, that's really the only, and of course the women's shoe section as well. But I don't really check too much other places in Ross when I'm in there. Now let's see. Thanks for the reselling advice. Very helpful. How do you change a listing from buy it now to bid? And where is Dami, aka Butterfly?
I'm here.
Yeah, she outside chilling on the patio. But let me see. What did you say? How did you change a listing from buy it now to bid? I'm not sure if you can do that. I've never done that before. I know you can change from auction to buy it. I know you can use the buy it now option within an auction. I'm not even sure if you can do that. But if you can, just go into the edit listing and change the format. I think all you might need to do is change the format, but I'm not sure if you can change it from buy now to auction. I don't think that's an option. Let's see. The truth or hop. Are you a top rated seller? If so, does that help with sales? Yeah, so I'm top rated. I've been top rated for a while now. In terms of top rated or not, what it does is that it lowers your overall fees. So if you normally would have to spend, say, 15% on certain categories, if you're top rated, depending on the category, you might go from 15 to like 12 or 12 to 10, something like that. It's small increments, but at the end of the day, it definitely does help you out. What it does do also is that if your seller standard is below standard, it will definitely hurt your sales because eBay would start to hide your sales. They not hide your sales, they'll try to hide your listings. So it'll be harder for you to actually make sales and convert and just make money and convert sales. So you definitely want to make sure that you're always either above standard or top rated, just so that your listings are visible and you're getting the amount of traffic that you deserve for all your listings. So some of the things to become top rated, you just want to make sure that the items that you're selling are always as described. You don't want to get too many returns where the buyers are saying the item was not as described, because eBay is gonna, take note of all of those returns, and they're gonna those are called defects. So the more defects you get, the lower your seller standard is gonna be. And they kind of give you some decent wiggle room. I think in terms of returns, if your return rate is below, I think 5%, you can still be considered top rated. And they definitely have a lot of leniency in terms of the overall seller performance. But you want to make sure, like I said, you want to make sure that your items are as described. You're shipping out your items on time. If you say your overall turnaround time is 1 business day, your handling time is 1 to 2 business days, you want to make sure that you're shipping out those items within that time frame. And that's really it. And it's all about the consistency of it. You want to make sure that you're doing it not just a month, but several months, several years, and you're just maintaining that standard. Let's see. Thanks, I will list my Uggs now. I bought all of them out of 3 different Raw stores. Was shocked to see them. They also had Bear Claw. I did not touch those. Yeah, Bear Claw, they're like fake Uggs. They're like the cheap version of Uggs, almost like Emu boots. And the other one that's like the lower end, it's kind of like an Ugg subsidiary. I think it's called, the name is slipping me now. I'm trying to remember the name. Drop a comment if you guys know the name I'm talking about. It's kind of like, not kangaroo, but it's something along those lines of just like the cheaper version of Uggs. They still sell for some decent money, but for the most part, if you see them in Ross, I usually don't pick them up. Someone says, what is a super chat? Super chat is basically a donation. That's basically what the super chat is. YouTube takes a cut, and then I get a portion of it as well. Let's see. Hi, I took a break because customers are scamming on eBay now. So that's nothing new. Believe it or not, that is nothing new. eBay has been dealing and trying to fight off scammers since eBay started, I think, probably from day one. So especially if you're brand new to eBay now, one of the most common scams that you're going to see is people. I even got an email today. Somebody had told me, I got to respond to that email, by the way. If you're watching this, I'll get back to you as soon as possible. But someone said to me that someone sent them a message, basically offered to pay them more for the item that they had listed. So if they had it listed for $100, somebody offered them $500, and then they offered them like the green dot. They offered them money in like a green dot card, something really scammy and fishy, like just something stupid. But those are the very common scams that you're going to be seeing, especially if you're brand new to eBay. So you just got to be smart. You just got to try to, use your better judgment. of course, use common sense. If somebody's gonna offer you more for your item, wouldn't they have just paid for the item and just purchased it right away? Like, just make sure you're using common sense with stuff like that, and you'd stay out of trouble. Let's see. Show off reviews. Don't sleep on Fry Boots. Easy money. Absolutely. Fry Boots. Fry is a really good brand. I'm not gonna say Fry is like top tier. Fry used to sell for more money in the past. The brand kind of leveled off a little bit, so it's not as hot, but it does bring in some decent money, especially if you get it for a good price. Will you be selling on Facebook Marketplace anytime soon? Depends. Once I get the pallets and, once I start bringing in more wholesale items, I might try to just move them any way I can, especially if it's big bulky items that I get in pallets. I'll definitely start utilizing Facebook Marketplace. I tell you guys all the time, the biggest reason why I love selling things online is because I'm not a huge fan of negotiating. I don't like the in-person, sales. I don't have a background in sales. I don't have a background in retail. So just dealing with customers is not like a forte of mine. It's not something I enjoy doing. So I try to avoid Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp, all those types of websites. I try to avoid them. But once I do start buying pallets and stuff like that, and I have items that are too big to ship out, I'll absolutely put it on Facebook Marketplace and just try to take advantage of all the platforms. But as of right now, everything for me, I sell online. Everything. Let's see. What you think about Marshalls removing the tops of their shoe boxes? I haven't seen that. Like, I haven't been seeing that, especially the ones in my area. The one that I usually go to where I can sometimes get some good deals, the shoes in there are usually trash anyway. So if they were to remove the box top, I mean, it'll hurt the value, but at the end of the day, it wouldn't be the end of the world for me. For people that aren't necessarily familiar with like selling shoes, if once you go to a Nike outlet, they usually remove the box top. That way, you can't sell the item brand new with the box. People still try to sell it, new other, listed as new other on eBay, and they'll sometimes ship out the half a box because some people still want that, I guess, just to see proof of authenticity. But it's just one of those things where if you have the complete box, you can make sometimes $10, $20, $30 more, sometimes 20% more if you have the complete box, depending on the shoe, of course. But it's one of those things where if I can get the box, cool. If I can't, it is what it is. As long as it's a solid shoe, most people still want it. Most people still pick it up. You know what I mean? It's not one of those things where people are so super, like, basic shoes, like the everyday person that's just looking for a simple pair of running shoes or a simple pair of sneakers. They're not necessarily super concerned with the boxes. So at the end of the day, it sucks because you won't be able to flip it on StockX where you definitely need the box, but it is what it is. Let's see. Are you still grinding every day as far as going to different stores daily, or have you took a step back from doing that? I noticed in your last video you were talking about buying in bulk. Yeah, so I'm still out here in these streets. I'm still going every single day. The plan is to, of course, shift the model to doing more wholesale and more bulk. But as of right now, I just haven't found any good opportunities. I've been scamming. I've been skimming through Google and just trying to figure out different websites and stuff like that. I've been coming across a lot of the basic liquidation websites that we all know about, like Bulk and Liquidation, and I think directliquidation.com. I'm trying to focus more on like local stuff. That way I can actually pick up the items or see the pallets in hand and avoid having to pay those huge shipping fees. So that's what I'm dealing with right now. But just today I went to the Adidas outlet. I went to Foot Locker, grabbed up some stuff, went to a couple of Rosses. So I'm still out here grabbing up stuff every day. But the goal, of course, within the next few months is to shift that business model and just do things differently. Because I always enjoy, buying stuff and shopping and doing the outside sourcing. Like, I enjoy that, but at the same time, I just know that's not a sustainable business model. And I never was doing this with the idea of like sustainability or even thinking of doing this long term. But I definitely see that reselling it's growing. It's a growing industry, and it has a lot of potential. So I'm definitely going to start paying more attention to it, just trying to see what I can do. But as of right now, I'm still out here in these streets every day, making it do what it do. Let's see. Learn the correct shipping with the UGG boots. I lost $40 in profit on my first sale because I wasn't yet trained on the post options. You can modify the medium and large flat rate boxes to fit more stuff. Yeah, so that's what I always tell people about pirate ship, because I'm on the West Coast, and if I ship out a pair of boots or a pair of shoes that's like 2 or 3 pounds, and I'm shipping it off to New York or New Jersey or somewhere on the East Coast. I've been shipping a lot of stuff to Florida lately too. It'll be $9.56. If you was to put those same boots in a medium flat rate box, that's like $13 and change. A large flat rate box, $16 and change. So it's very, very expensive in terms of shipping. That's why I just use Pirate Ship. And I got a video on my channel on how to ship using Pirate Ship. So definitely check that out. Take full advantage of that. Save that money in terms of shipping. But I used to use all those medium flat rate boxes, large, regional A. At this point, the only shipping options I use are padded flat rate bags for shoes, of course, shoes from Ross. I think, what else do I use? I use those legal flat rate envelopes, or just the paper flat rate envelopes. I use those for pants as well, since I'm still shipping out a lot of those salmon color Polo Ralph Lauren pants. But for the most part, everything else is Pirate Ship, unless it's first class. Let's see, double jump. How do you deal with buyers with zero feedback who purchase items but don't commit? Yeah, so that just goes back to the whole concept of why I don't accept offers on the majority of the items in my store. Sometimes somebody with zero feedback, they might purchase an item from me, but I wouldn't even know about their feedback until they've already, paid for the item. So that's one thing you might want to consider too. Just stop using offers and just, your price is your price. Make sure you price it correctly, and your price is your price, and that's it. But I used to run into that issue all the time. And one thing that I used to do when I had buyers with zero feedback send an offer, I would send them a message, or I would first I would send a message and tell them, hey, I'll accept your offer, but I'll just change the price to the offer that you sent. And that way they can have to pay now, instead of giving them any time to, or have any buyer's remorse and then they never pay. So that's always a viable option as well. And if they don't pay, within say 20, 30 minutes of you sending that message, I would just change the price right back to what it was. But that's an option that you can use too. Let's see, Jesus Vasquez, do you sell hype shoes, new release Jordans and Yeezys? No, I would love to. I would love to get into that, but I just don't have a plug. I don't have like a mom and pop shops. Like I don't have a plug with a manager or anything like that where I can get, brand new release Jordans. I don't use bots. I was thinking about using bots, but I haven't done it yet. But I just don't use bots or anything like that. So I don't really have a good way of getting those brand new releases and stuff like that. For me, it just makes more sense to do volume in the sense of more affordable shoes for the everyday person. For me, I always like to tell people, when you're making a purchase, you always got to think of who your customer is. And for a while, I was kind of toying with the idea of maybe I should solely sell hype options, just hype shoes, hype clothing, and stuff like that. But the problem when you're selling hype stuff, that hype fades. Like it'll be really hot 1 week, and then 2 weeks later there's a new release, or 1 week later there's a new release, and nobody cares about that one item anymore. So it's kind of tricky dealing with stuff like that. That's why I sell so many Adidas, so many shoes that are just the shoes for the everyday person. You know what I mean? Not everybody's willing to spend $500-600 on one pair of shoes. So that's just something for me that kind of swayed my opinion. Got Eddie passing on 3 pairs of Fry boots today. You better go back and get them, unless they was whack and you did it for a good reason. But like I said earlier, Fry, sometimes you can get some good money on some of those Fry boots. Let's see. What do you think of the new eBay payment changes going on? So I've been on the eBay managed payments for a while. I think I was probably one of the first group of people that they started converting over to managed payments. At first, I had it set to daily. I had it set to the daily option, and maybe it was because it was so new that I wasn't receiving those payouts daily. So I switched it to weekly, and so far every Tuesday, eBay sends the payment out to my business bank account, and so far everything has been smooth. The only thing I don't like about eBay managed payments, which is very different to PayPal, was that if a buyer opens up a return, the funds are on hold, and buyers have sometimes up to I think 10 or 15 days to return the item. So unless you're very on top of it and you're calling eBay And nowadays you can't even necessarily call eBay. You have to request a callback. Excuse me, unless you're really on top of it. Sometimes that money could be on hold for 2 or 3 weeks. So that's the one thing I really don't like about managed payments, and I hope they kind of switch that up soon. I know with PayPal used to do that, but once you built up a good reputation with PayPal, they stopped putting your funds on hold, and your funds was always available. Especially once the payment was made, your funds will be automatically available. So I'm pretty sure eBay will make that change eventually. This whole managed payments is still pretty new. Drop a comment if you guys have different experiences with eBay managed payments so far. For me, I like it. I like the fact that the fees are less. Before, fees was just always, for me, like 14 to 15% all the time. Now it's just about like 11 to 12% on certain items, at least the categories that I'm selling in, which are mainly shoes and some electronics. But so far, I really do like managed payments. I think it's just a better option in terms of PayPal. And like I said, I just prefer it this way as opposed to how it used to be. Let's see. Have you ever co-hosted a Poshmark party? No, I have not. I tried. Like I sent in I think it was like a nomination form or something like that type of form, and I filled it out, but I never got the okay to do it. And nowadays, I'm hardly ever making any sales on Poshmark anyway. My goal is still to just sell out my Poshmark Closet and just close it, because Poshmark, I'm not gonna say Poshmark is dead, but for me, it's not the option anymore. It's just not what it used to be. Let's see, you can ship items out on OfferUp now, FYI. That's a good tip. I heard a lot of people talking about that. Drop a comment if you guys are shipping items out with OfferUp. I know OfferUp and LetGo actually combined. I was just in the App Store earlier, and I seen OfferUp and LetGo. It's like one app now, so I think they merged. But yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna hop on OfferUp and start selling on there, but it's definitely a good option, especially if you're, not a fan of eBay or not a fan of Poshmark or Mercari. Yes, there's tons of different platforms out there, tons of different ways to get money. Middleman Pickle, what's going on? How you doing? Let's see. Akil, I found a vintage starter, Eastern Conference, NHL Pittsburgh Penguins jersey at the Goodwill bins. It has 4 signatures, but they are not legible. Wow, that might be something very rare and expensive. If I was you, I might take that somewhere where you could get an expert to check it out. Kind of like Pawn Stars, how they would always bring in an expert to verify signatures. If I was you, I'd probably take it to maybe take it to a pawn shop, or take it to somewhere where they specialize in memorabilia, so you can kind of check out the signatures for yourself. It could be worth a ton of money, or it could be worth absolutely nothing at all. But better safe than sorry, as my mom always says. So if I was you, I'd probably just check it out, get somebody to verify the signatures, and that way you can probably get some more money for that. Let's see, for eBay managed payments, do you have to set up a business account from your current bank or credit union? I don't think you necessarily need to set up a business account. I just have my stuff separated. So for me, I have a business account and I have a personal checking account. So everything in terms of eBay and Poshmark and all my businesses, they go to the business bank account. YouTube, Amazon, everything goes to my business bank account. Personal bank account, just personal. Whether I cut a check to myself, it goes there, but everything is separate. I don't think you necessarily need to have a business bank account, but I mean, for tax purposes, I think it might make more sense for you to just have a business bank account, get an EIN number, and just do it that way instead. Let's see. Can you show us how you pack shoes in a padded flat rate? People always ask me about that. I remember I did one live show, and somebody was giving out all the tips and all the gems on how to fit shoes in a padded flat rate bag. One good tip that I can share is just tape over the bag. Oftentimes, if the shoe can fit but the bag necessarily can't close, just tape over the bag and you'll be perfectly fine. But for the most part, all the shoes I get, they usually do fit just fine in the padded flat rate envelope. But I always get those comments all the time. How do you fit size 11 in a padded flat rate bag? Put it in a bag and then tape over the bag. That's the best way to do it. Now see, the managed payments say it takes the fees out up front, so I'm not sure how I still have a balance accumulating. So the balance that you're talking about, that the invoice at the end of the month for eBay, if you use promoted listings, they're still going to charge you for the promoted listings. And also, if you ship out items using FedEx or using, I think I might be wrong, but I know if you ship using FedEx, they'll add that amount to your eBay invoice. They might also do that with UPS, but I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me. I only used UPS shipping once, but yeah, so you're definitely gonna still have to pay for promoted listings and any shipping that you accrue. But outside of that, the fees, they handle the fees up front. See, OfferUp is a nice and easy extra platform to get extra sales. Yeah, I mean, I'm just one of those people that once I really feel comfortable with the platform, I just stick with that. Then I hopped on the Poshmark and I was doing really well with that. But then Poshmark kind of dipped off, and now eBay is just my main. eBay was always my main platform. At one point, I was doing really well on both, but now Poshmark for me is just kind of dry, so I'm just sticking to eBay. But eventually, I'm pretty sure I'll try some other platforms and see what it do. Might be hopping on Mercari or something soon, just to not necessarily Mercari, Amazon. I definitely got to get on the Amazon so I can be prepared for next fourth quarter. Let's see. I've never really seen any fry boots before. Can you get a lot of profit off of those or off of them? Yeah, I mean, certain fry boots have some decent value, but some fry boots, not as much. You just got to check them out, run the comps. Some fry boots, they actually have the name on the inside of the shoe. So you just can type in fry boots and whatever the name is, and you'll be able to figure out what the comps are looking like. Let's see. Customer put the wrong address and gave me a negative feedback. Can eBay take out negative feedback? Absolutely. I think the limit is like 3 months. That if it's past 3 months, they say they no longer can change it. But if they put the wrong address and you've communicated with the buyer and at least tried to fix it yourself with them, and the buyer just wasn't being reasonable, just contact eBay, let them know the situation, and they usually would handle those type of stuff for you. For me, negative feedback. Thankfully, I don't get negative feedback because I just try to, do the best job possible. I try to ship out items on time. But sometimes you're gonna come across buyers that, are just assholes and just gonna want to do whatever they want to do. But thankfully, eBay is aware of those types of stuff, and they, kind of protect the buyer, kind of protect the seller nowadays. So definitely just want to reach out to eBay customer service, request a call back, get them on the phone, try to explain to them the situation. If the person that you're on the phone with doesn't help you out or they're not understanding what you're trying to say, request another call back and keep talking with somebody until somebody helps you out. Let's see, when you use Pirate Ship, are you using plain padded bags and your own boxes? Not really sure how to use it. So I don't use padded bags. I just use the regular poly mailers. Sometimes I buy my poly mailers from shippingdepot.com. Just a good website. You know what I mean? They're just solid shipping company. I don't got an affiliate or anything with them. I probably should, and I probably will reach out to them and see. But shippingdepot.com is where I get my poly mailers from. Good prices, really good prices. For the most part, they're a little better than they would be on eBay and Amazon. Amazon poly mailers are kind of expensive in my opinion, so I don't necessarily use the poly mailers on there. But on shippingdepot.com, they have some good ones. Sometimes I use my own boxes if I have a random return box and somebody ships me a box that I can use. Sometimes I use that, and then other times I just use the boxes from USPS because they're free. Let's see, I got to be more careful cross-posting. Just had to cancel a customer order because the shoe sold on both platforms the same day. Tragic. Have you ever ran into that situation? It happens to the best of us. Those type of situations it used to happen to me more often when my Poshmark sales were booming. And what I would do in those situations is whoever had the first sale, whoever ordered it first, I would just honor the person that bought it first and then cancel it on the next order. But it does suck. Sometimes it happens, but it's just the name of the game when it comes down to cross listing. You just got to stay on top of it. It's one of those things where a lot of people are afraid to cross list for that reason. But it used to happen to me maybe once a month where that would happen, and usually it would just be my fault. It would sell on Poshmark and I would forget to take it off on eBay and vice versa. So honestly, it's not It's not common. It doesn't happen all the time, but it's part of the game. Part of the game. Let's see, my Posh is a ghost town. I haven't sold anything on there. I'm right there with you. Poshmark is, Poshmark, I know they're having Posh Fest coming up, I think in October. And I'm not going to be a speaker or anything like that. I spoke last year at Posh Fest when I was more active, but I didn't even apply to be a speaker or be like associated with it because I know I'm not doing well on the platform. I'm not like a big spokesperson for the platform. I'm not even a huge fan, so I didn't even want to put up a big front and make it seem like I wanted to do it. So it is what it is. Let's see. I just pulled the E-Myth Mastery out of my mailbox 3 minutes ago. Yes, that's a very good book, my brother. Very good book. That's the book that switched everything in my mind and made me just kind of just really rethink the business and started asking myself, do I actually even have a business? Because they were in that book, they were basically talking about they were talking a lot about e-commerce, but for the most part, they were talking about just business owners and entrepreneurs in general and the ups and downs and the different phases business owners go through and the types of things that we all think about. And for me, it just kind of opened my eyes to realize that if you don't necessarily have like a dedicated source or a dedicated like partnership with a supplier, your business is not going to be sustainable. You can't even necessarily call yourself a business. For me, I'm just viewing myself now. Of course, I'm gonna say I'm a business person, but for the most part, my business strategy and my overall business model is very hustler oriented. If I don't go out and if I don't try to source these different items and find good deals, I'm not going to be able to sell stuff. So it just kind of made me want to switch the flip in my mind and try to think outside the book, think outside the box, put more energy into developing more relationships. And that's the goal now for the next few months, probably until the end of the year. I'm just going to be focusing on that and, just try to really grow this business and make it more of a solid business instead of just having to rely on me hustling all day long. Let's see, how long did it take you to go full time with your business, preparing in case I am laid off in 2021? That's a good question. So for me, I just jumped in full time. I quit my job in higher education. I was actually the program coordinator of the Educational Opportunity Program at California State, Monterey Bay. I was there for 9 months. I moved there from Buffalo State, where I was working for 5 years. And I took on that job because usually in EOP, the Educational Opportunity Program, directors, program coordinators, all those type of higher positions, people don't leave. So for me, once I seen an opening across the country, I just jumped on it. I just saw it as a good opportunity. I jumped on it. The situation was terrible. I was super stressed out, and I quit after 9 months. So I basically just was thinking to myself, what can I do to make money? How can I pay the bills? So I stacked up about 6 months worth of expenses so I could at least breathe comfortably for a little while. And I just started selling my suits, started selling my shoes. And from there, I just fell into being a full-time reseller. I was full-time because that was the only thing I was doing. And I just kept going. And I'm basically continued that same format from that day until now. And that was 2017, early 2017. So just part of the game, just part of those things where, you got to make money, you got to figure out what you're going to do. And I'm just one of those people. I just have that hustler's spirit. You know what I mean? I've always figured out how to make a dollar legally. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where sell your stuff and then you try to figure out where else can I get stuff. So I started in a thrift store, then I went to Ross. Now I'm trying to do wholesale and bulk. So it's just part of the journey. Let's see, watching you has taught me so much. I get to spend every day with my son, and that's the important thing of being a single father. Keep up the great work, and here is a great Q4, brother. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Thanks again for that super chat last week. Definitely appreciate it. Because that's the thing, man. When it comes to reselling, I know I was getting questions in previous live shows where people was asking me how much money I'm making, am I rich yet? And those are all like, surface level kind of basic questions. But it's the freedom that once you're making money for yourself, the freedom that you have is priceless. Him being able to spend all day with his son, like that's the most valuable part of it all. Time is what you can't get back. And for me, since I hustle so much and I'm out running around to all these different stores, that's the big thing for me too. I'm just trying to buy back my time. And during this phase in life, it's the time to hustle, time to put in work. But at the same time, there comes a point where you need to, just make a pivot, move smarter, and not necessarily work harder. So for me, that's the joy of being a reseller and doing this full time. Just being an entrepreneur. It's that freedom that you get. I would just celebrate my anniversary with my wife on the 15th. I didn't have to call anybody or take any time off. The next day, I didn't have to worry about if I was going to be too tired to go to work. It's just that freedom is just priceless. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm doing while I'm doing. Mac Norris finally made the live show. Thanks for the great content. Thank you for tuning in. That's what's up. Man, finally made a live show. Be in here. Let's see. I have new and used listings, but I'm not doing so well lately. Should I stop selling pre-owned items? I'm not going to say stop selling pre-owned items, but the thing with clothing right now, and specifically clothing, is that clothing is just super cheap everywhere. I was in Burlington, you could get a full suit for $20. I was in Marshalls, you can get brand new with tags, outfits, $4, $5, $6. So clothing is very, very tough. If you're in an area where you can get really high quality used items, still sell it, still pick it up, still do it. But clothing in particular, if you're one of those people that are picking up like Walmart brands or Target brands and it's used and you're trying to sell it on eBay, you're not going to make sales. It's going to be a very, very tough time for you. So just keep those types of stuff in mind. If you're going to do pre-owned, think of higher quality items and just avoid some of those, those Walmart brands, those Target brands, those really cheap stuff that people would usually pick up for 50 cents from a Goodwill bin and sell it for $10. That game, for me, I don't see that lasting too much longer, only because clothes is so cheap right now. The pandemic flipped everything upside down in terms of retail, so just keep that in mind. Let's see, when I watch videos on what shoes to sell, the seller always says to get the shoes from Foot Locker, Champs, etc. But I feel like the sales are too expensive. That's the thing with retail arbitrage. I'm not going to say it's super cheap, but sometimes you can come across some deals where items are $20, $30. So you can kind of, leverage your money that way. But some days I'm spending $2,000 in a day. Some months I'm spending over $8,000 in a month. So it definitely can be a very pricey situation when it comes to sourcing. I just always tell people, learn to leverage your credit. Some tips I got in terms of just leveraging your credit is to just start small. Try to increase your credit limit as often as possible. I think every 3 months you can ask for a credit increase. Make sure that you're paying off your credit card bill every month in full. That way you're not paying any penalties or any interest. But for me, that's how I was able to get into retail arbitrage. I was just leveraging my credit, buying a mixture of items that would sell fast, and as well as some items that would be a little long tail. And as soon as those items that I was confident that would sell fast, I would just pay off my credit card bill in full. So at the end of the day, the game is literally just to make more money than you're spending on your credit card. That way you just pay off your credit card in full, and that way you can start to, just acquire more purchases, because that's what every big business does. Every big business works off of credit. So once you start learning how to leverage credit, and I'm no credit wizard, I'm no credit, no finance expert or anything like that. Just a regular dude with some good credit. That's it. You know what I mean? But it's just one of those things where the longer you're doing it, the more research you do, the better you'll get at it. But trust me, it's not cheap. Buying brand new items is not cheap. Sometimes it is, but sometimes you got to pay to play. I haven't seen a commercial lately on TV about Poshmark, but I'm still selling. I share to cheap. I think someone said the cheap buying app or something like that. Yeah, Poshmark used to have a ton of like commercials, TV commercials, YouTube commercials. Marketing has dried up. I guess their marketing budget just dried up, so they're not pushing stuff as they used to. I'm seeing way more Macari commercials, and I've been saying this for months now. Like Macari commercials, still seeing it on YouTube, still seeing it on TV, still seeing it all the time. You know what I mean? So I don't know what it is. It's just very, very tough. Very, very tough. And I think that all just goes to show why Poshmark isn't doing as well as it used to, because they're not on the forefront of people's minds anymore. People are not so quick to sell on there. And even when I go to search for, because I used to do a lot of sourcing on Poshmark, when I scroll through the Nike section or the Jordan section, everything is fakes. Everything is fakes. Between the fake jerseys, the fake Jordans, it's just a very sketchy platform right now. So that's why I'm off it. See, I agree with you 100% on hustling versus having a business. Yeah, there's a big difference between having a business and just being a hustler. Right now, I can honestly say I'm a hustler, but one day, very soon, I will have a solid business, solid business. Let's see. Do you invest? Absolutely. I invest using Acorns. I invest with Robinhood. I invest with what was that other one? Stash. I'm investing. I'm out here buying stocks. I'm not a stock expert by any means either, but I just kind of started by just doing some research, seeing some of the stocks that are affordable that people can purchase. I know when the airline stocks would really go, I purchased a bunch of those. I'm definitely investing. I don't have no Apple or Tesla stock yet, but I'm definitely investing. I got some Nike stock. I'm trying to do what it do. Thinking long term, generational wealth. You know what I mean? Posh is a low baller cesspool. Yeah, Poshmark is tough. Poshmark got some work to do. Don't think Poshmark is dead yet. It is weird, but I have had at least 2 sales a day in the last 2 weeks, new and used. You must be selling some good stuff. And I think too with women, it's a female-dominated platform. So if you're selling women's clothing or women's stuff like home goods and things that women are more interested in, you'll definitely do well. But for me, that's not my category. Let's see. Why do you think people don't see reselling as a real job and they don't see it serious? Telling me to get a real job. What do you say to those people? I don't tell those people anything. People that don't think, reselling is real and you're wasting your time, I don't tell them anything. I don't even waste my energy. I've been doing this for so long now. It's like my lifestyle is not fake. I'm doing this for real, so I don't even waste my time. Let's see. So hard to get feedbacks on eBay. I even put a thank you note. Yeah, the majority of buyers on every platform, that goes the same for Amazon as well. Most buyers don't leave feedback. I think they said it's as high as like 75% of people don't leave feedback. I don't even leave feedback when I make purchases, and I'm a seller, so I should be doing those types of stuff. But the thank you note sometimes helps. Sending a message sometimes helps, and just leaving them feedback will definitely help as well. But most people don't leave feedback, so it is tough. Poshmark has always been steady for me. I did well enough to get invited to co-host a party. That's what's up. That's what's up. I don't know how they choose like hosts and co-hosts. I know you do have to apply. I'm pretty sure they probably reach out to certain people, certain power sellers. I know I was never like a power seller. The most I did was like $3,000 a month, and I did that maybe 3 or 4 times. And that was at my peak. Now I'm barely getting $50 on Poshmark. And I'm sharing in the morning, but I'm not sharing as often. So that probably is the big reason why. Let's see. To do clothing successfully, you must have style. Most don't. Yo, that is funny. No, that is funny. No money in clothes, none. And you know what? I gotta agree with you though. Because with clothing it's tough because most people don't necessarily have the eye to see what somebody else would appreciate. You know what I mean? So you gotta be stylish to sell stylish clothes. You gotta be able to recognize it. So even if you don't wear stylish clothes, you at least gotta be able to recognize what's unique and what's good and what's quality. That's a skill that most people acquire over time. So I agree. That's why I specifically was talking about lower end brands that people would pick up from the bins and try to flip it online. If you're trying to sell Walmart brands and Target brands and really cheap clothing, you're not gonna be super successful. You might make some money here or there, but I don't think you're gonna be super successful. Let's see. Happy anniversary. Do you think you'll continue to buy pre-owned shoes in the future? I don't know. That's a good question. It depends. I mean, if pre-owned shoes there's still a really big market for that, so I probably will. I remember I went to the thrift. This was a couple months ago, and I bought some Jordan 11 golf shoes, and those were I think $27. They were kind of beat, but I cleaned them up and I made them look nice. And those sold for $220 on eBay. So if I can come across used shoes that's good quality and have margins like that, I'll do that all day long. But I mean, used shoes, there's definitely still a good market for that. There's still a lot of people that would prefer buying used instead of buying new. So a lot of people are really into sustainability, and a lot of people are into upcycling, as they call it. So there's always going to be a market for that. But, the goal, of course, is to just do everything brand new. But if I come across some good deals, I'll take it. Let's see. Yep, they are growing it enough to sell it all for profit. I mean, that's. I'm pretty sure you're talking about Poshmark. That's what most businesses. Most businesses just want to grow it as much as possible and then sell it to the highest bidder. Can't knock them for that. If I had a business model similar to Poshmark, I'd be trying to do the same thing. I just think that that is probably what they're doing. That's probably why they're not marketing it as they used to. Who knows? I mean, who knows? I don't got any connection to Poshmark, but who knows? Wouldn't be surprised. Let's see. Bought Tesla at 320. It went down to 3. Bought Tesla at 380. It went down to 320. Now it is up 440. That's what's up. Made some money on that. How much shares did you buy? If you bought a few shares, you made some good money on that. That's a good flip. Let's see. Be greatness. Any tips on increasing sales? First off, you gotta have good stuff. Gotta have good stuff. I know people, usually the people, and this is no offense to you, no shade. I ain't trying to get crazy, but usually when people are having a tough time converting sales, you got to look at your closet, you got to look at your store, just look at your overall inventory. Think to yourself, are you priced right? Are your pictures looking good? Did you present it in a way where people would want to buy it? Are you selling junk? Ask yourself that. Are you selling junk? Those are all things that you gotta, always keep in the forefront of your mind when you're experiencing slow sales. To be 100% honest, I do that several times a month, where I'll go through my store and I'll just look through it and say, okay, is everything up to par? Is everything looking good? Are my photos looking sharp? Is my descriptions looking good? Am I super proud of everything that I'm doing right now? I always ask myself those questions when I go through my eBay store. So just do that as well, and just address anything that you think you might be slacking on. Compare your store to other people's store that's doing really well, and just compare your photos, compare your descriptions, and just see for yourself what's doing well and what's not. And just be honest with yourself, because we can all say, "Oh, I sell amazing stuff. I don't know why people's buying. Why aren't people buying?" But just be real with yourself and look at it from that angle. Let's see. Do you know of a scam? Do you know of a scam where they offer you what you asked for, but when you respond to them, they come up with a message saying something like they want to put a gift card in with the package? That's the same thing I was talking about earlier. That is a huge scam. That is a very tacky scam, and they're preying on new eBay sellers that probably don't know any better, and they want to make a sale, so they're considering all offers and all options. But that is a scam. If anybody offers you more money for what you're selling your item for, it is a scam. If they're trying to pay you with a gift card, that is a scam. Run away. Everybody just don't get prepared for the fourth quarter. Source also for the first quarter also. Absolutely. I'm thinking for next year, fourth quarter. But a good tip that I just thought of too is you want to buy things off season. So fourth quarter right now is going to be big. A lot of items that's going to be selling is boots, outerwear, ski stuff, snow-related stuff, anything like that you can get your hands on is the time to sell those types of things. But also, I was telling you guys I'm trying to get into wholesale and bulk buying. So I'm going to start seeing swimsuits. I'm going to start seeing sandals and flip-flops and summer clothes now because it's off-season. So if I can buy some of those things now and just have it ready and good to go for next year, that'll be the perfect way to do it. So with the whole reselling game, you always want to think at least 1 to 2 seasons ahead. That way you're always ahead of the curve. And for me, that's where my mindset is at right now. I know right now in the wholesale landscape, it's going to be a lot of off-season items. So that's probably what I'm going to try to buy now if I can get it for a good deal, hold it for a few months, and then recoup my money next month. Well, next year as it will. Let's see. Keep the questions coming, y'all. Oh, so off subject. Since the movie theaters are opening back up, what movie you and the wife are anticipating going to see? Man, that's a good question. I don't even know what movies are out. I heard of Tenet. I think I'm not necessarily sure what the whole plot of that movie is, but I heard it was pretty good. So if anything, I probably will go to see that. But I miss the movies. I'm the type of person that will go to like the cheap movie theater on a Tuesday just to get some popcorn. I don't really care what I'm watching, but I just like movie popcorn. So that was something that I would like to do. But eventually, we'll probably go back out there, see what's going on, see what movies is out. But I haven't even been keeping up with it. Deb Elliott, 75 people watching. Hit that like button. Absolutely. Please hit that like button, y'all. It goes a long way. Helps the channel grow. Helps people see the videos and get to it. Let's see. Right. Would you be a consumer of your own store? Yes, that's the perfect way to think of it. When you're thinking of your store and why you're not converting sales, think of it from that aspect. Would you buy those same items at that price and in that condition? And in that description, with those photos, with that description, always think of it from that angle. Is it good enough for you to buy it? You know what I mean? Think of it from that way as well. Let's see. Excuse me. Be in those clearance racks after Christmas. Stores overbuy and they have to get out the inventory. That's a really good tip. That's something I think I'm going to start doing as well. I'm going to try just approaching different store managers, asking them if they got overflow, overstock, stuff like that. Because after Christmas, it's definitely going to be a ton of stuff on sale and, a lot of wintertime stuff as well. So for me, I'm definitely going to have, the space to store it. So if I can get my hands on, a ton of coats at the end of the winter, in that like in between season, I'll stock up on those now and then be ready for next year. So I'll try to do that as well. Do you sell to ThreadUp? No, never use ThreadUp. Here's the thing with ThreadUp. I remember I was considering doing something with ThreadUp. I had a bunch of clothes. I was thinking of shipping it out to them. The problem with ThreadUp is it seemed very sketchy. So basically, the items that they don't buy from you, they said they'll donate it on your behalf. But then they were selling like wholesale pallets from those same like items that they said they would donate. So they never really donate the items that they said they would. They just try to, they pay the seller, pennies on the dollar for whatever the item is. And then they'll try to sell the items they don't take wholesale to other people as well. So it's double dipping and it was very sketchy to me. That's why I never rocked with ThreadUp. But drop a comment if you guys use ThreadUp, what's your experience with them. For me, once I realized that's what they was doing, I just got very turned off. Let's see, your last video, you said wholesale prices were crazy expensive. What's the average number on the lower end? So that was just some stuff I was seeing in terms of like, when I said they were crazy expensive, some wholesale places had minimums. So they might have the item and the base price for said item might be $20, but you had to buy 200 of them. So of course that's $2,000 right there. So it's kind of tricky in terms of like kind of navigating through the minimums that they require that you have to purchase, and it's kind of tough. But like I said, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. So I'm just trying to keep doing my research, keep trying to see if I can find a solid wholesaler, a solid supplier. And there's so many liquidation websites out there, but a lot of them are doing just what I said earlier. They're buying Amazon returns, they're picking out the good stuff, and then they're trying to sell the junk in a pallet. They basically recoup their money back. So it's kind of tricky. It's gonna take me some time until I can find some reputable sellers. And this is all in a matter of last couple weeks. I dropped that video last week, and I was really like during that time when I was really trying to think differently. So it's gonna take some time. Definitely gonna take some time. What's your storage situation? So I got a spare bedroom, and we use that room We use that room and the closet for inventory. And my inventory system is super simple. I basically label all of my bins. I have plastic tote bins. A lot of them I got from the thrift store. Some of them I got from Walmart. And they're labeled like A through 10, B through 10, stuff like that. That way I can easily find them. But, inventory right now is pretty solid. I've just been trying to rack up on a solid amount of inventory for fourth quarter. Still going out there every day, like I said, but trying to switch that up. So eventually wouldn't have to do that anymore. Eventually I'll probably just do that for fun. But as of right now, I just feel like I have to. So one could almost say it's like FOMO. It's fear of missing out. Because every day I don't source, I feel like I missed out on something amazing. Let's see. Refreshing your store can help your sales. Go to your active listings and click edit all active listings. Click submit changes and then click OK. Do this a few times a week. That's a really good tip. I actually never heard anyone say that before. So thank you for that. Refreshing your store can help your sales. Because the thing is, I would go through each individual listing sometime and switch up certain stuff and change the description, maybe take a fresh picture. But that's a really good tip. So thank you for that, Deb. Let's see. I know you mentioned selling New Balance. I looked over those and went to Ross today and could not find one pair left. Yeah, so certain New Balances, people was picking them up like crazy. And at one point, they were selling for like $100. A lot of those like Kawhi Leonard New Balances, those 997s, they were selling for like $100. But of course, the race to the bottom started. So a lot of those shoes that were selling for 100, now they're selling for like 60 or 50. So you might just have to be patient and just wait until the market kind of shifts back around where all those people that kind of picked them all up, they kind of faded off. But I'm gonna just hold on to the ones that I got because I know some pairs are gonna be valuable, some aren't. I'm gonna just hold on and just wait till the tide shifts back my way. Just be patient. What's going on? Listening from Seattle. That's what's up. Seattle in the building. Let's see. Good information. I've been looking at Alibaba, but some people say they don't trust it. Yeah, I don't necessarily trust. I'm not gonna say I don't trust them. The thing is they're just like another wholesale. They're more like for manufacturing. That's what I tell people with Alibaba. If you're looking to do private label, they're like the perfect place to do that for apparel, or if you wanted to do like a private label microphone or something like that. They're the perfect place for that. But in terms of like sourcing for wholesale stuff, I'm not necessarily sure. But I just know a lot of people were successful in terms of like private label stuff and manufacturing purposes. That's what's up. Show off reviews, $5 super chat. Definitely appreciate it. Just a small token. Appreciate your time and consistency. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let's see. Check out Lindy Glenn's channel. She taught me a lot about buying wholesale pallets, a wealth of info. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check out her page. It's been a while since I checked out her page, or it's been a while since I checked out any other resellers stuff. I used to watch Hustler Hack stuff all the time. I got to get back on his channel. It's been a while. I still check Daily Refinement every once in a while. He's been dropping daily videos, so I haven't been catching up with his. But Lindy Glenn, Rally Roots, Hustler Hacks. There's a couple other people. I'm trying to remember if there's anybody else. I know what's my boy name in Atlanta. Know It to Flip It. There's a few people that do reselling that I watch their stuff. Honestly, I just haven't been watching anybody's like reseller content. I've been really watching more fitness related content, more audio books is what I listen to more than ever. But I'm definitely get back on it because I need to get some information. I need some help, some knowledge, some motivation. And see, I've been doing Poshmark for about 8 months now, and I'm so burnt out on sharing. Any advice there? Get a bot. Get a sharing bot. Everybody else is using bots. I see the same items anytime I go on Poshmark. I see the same exact items at the top of the search. So that all that means is they're using bots, and you can't compete with a bot unless you get one. So try I guess you can Google Poshmark sharing services. They say it's illegal not to do it, but everybody's doing it. So you're not stopping anybody from doing it either. I just purchased a wholesale liquidation box from Joico Matrix Hair Care, full size, 43 items for $80 plus $25 shipping, not bad. I also purchased a mystery makeup box, 100 pieces for $75 with free ship. That's what's up. Let me write that down. Joyco Matrix. So basically, I have so many tabs open as we speak in terms of like wholesale websites, liquidation pallet websites, and I'm gonna check that out for sure. So thanks for that. But it's so many different platforms out there and available that you're just gonna have to really take your time and comb through all of it to kind of get to trying to find the gems. You know what I mean? But thanks for that. I'm gonna check it out. See what Joyco is all about. Bars. Speaking of New Balance, I just found some black 990s at the Goodwill for $20. Yeah, 990s always sell well. $20 is a lot though. God damn, Goodwill be killing me. I can't stand Goodwill. Used sneakers, $20, and some New Balances at that. Like, come on, they are killing me. Have you ever tried or thought about drop shipping? I never tried it. Never was a fan of drop shipping, only because I enjoy being in control of the inventory. So with drop shipping, you can't necessarily control, where your inventory is coming from, where your supply is, the shipping time. Like it's a lot of stuff that's just out of your control in the drop shipping. So that's why I never really did it. Maybe it's something I might do in the future. Doubt it, but I just say that to say I'm one of those people that I'm open to a lot of different things. I'm not one of those people that will tell people there's only one way to do something, or it's either my way or the highway. I'm very open to different suggestions and business models. And there's people that's super, super successful dropshipping. So one of those things where it's not for me, but it might be. You never know. Let's see, I just started reselling at the end of July and it's growing so quickly. I've become addicted to sourcing. I definitely hear you about consistency and appreciate you. Thank you very much. Call me Stacy. That's what's up. Thank you very much. The sourcing is the most fun part. Like the sourcing is the best part. And the sourcing is the things that'll keep you going, especially if you're like, for me, I like selling shoes. So for me, having the opportunity to go to different stores on a daily basis in search of shoes is great. It's like, it doesn't even feel like work half the time. That's why I'm able to do it for so long and so consistent, because I enjoy doing it. But it's just when you start to think of, the overall business model, if something was to happen to me, what would happen to the business? You know what I mean? I start thinking of things like that. But the sourcing stuff is amazing. I love sourcing, but just gotta think of more efficient ways to do it. More efficiently. Do you use Vendu or a VA lister? No, my wife works with me, so you don't necessarily need a lister or anything like that. But a virtual assistant can be very helpful. If I can find a virtual assistant to kind of help me get some wholesale deals, I'll do that. I'll do that for sure. I think us as resellers need to stop with the race to the bottom. I understand some of us aren't as experienced, but the rest of us should know better. You would think so, but a lot of the experienced sellers are the ones that are causing the race to the bottom. Like a lot of people are just very impatient, and those are the ones that will say, I've been reselling for 15, 20 years, but they're the ones that are, causing the race to the bottom. They'll make a sale for $100, and then 2-3 days later they'll slash their price to 60 just so that their items can move. It's sad, but I mean, it's one of those things where it's just part of the game. And that's why it's so important to just be patient, because the race to the bottom usually always does end, and you can eventually make your sales for the price that you want, but you just got to be patient. Yes, be sure to hit that like button. Yes, definitely hit that like button, y'all. It helps the channel out for sure. Let's see, the last time I purchased something wholesale was from DHgate back in 2012 for charging cables. You already guessed it, half of them didn't work. Always do your homework with suppliers. That's the thing too. DHgate is very sketchy. They're known for the fake sneakers, so I would never make a purchase from DHgate, only because they're known for dealing in fakes. And when you have like suspicious business models and stuff like that, very sketchy sellers, I wouldn't do it. But like you said, that was 2012. You learn from that mistake, and I'm sure you won't do that again. Let's see. I was just saying that to my resale friends. The only competition in resale is yourself. We are providing a service to people. We are personal shoppers, to simply summarize it. That's a good way to put it. Personal shoppers. I remember at one point when I first quit my job, I was thinking of being an image consultant, because at that point I was wearing a lot of suits. I was very, dressed professional all the time, so people always would see me in that light. That's why my Instagram is so, DapperAdvisor. That's where the name came from. But I was thinking of being a personal shopper and thinking of, just helping people with their style and overall image. But I had to be real with myself. I'm not the biggest people person, and dealing with people on that capacity on a daily basis to pay my bills, it gave me huge anxiety. So I instantly thought otherwise. But I like the concept of being a personal shopper, especially if I'm doing it online. Especially if I'm doing it online. Let's see. You use a spreadsheet to keep track of the ins and outs of inventory and profit. Absolutely. I got an Excel, not an Excel. It's whatever, I think it's called Numbers, whatever the Apple version, whatever the Apple version of Excel is. I use that, and I track my expenses monthly. So whichever money I spent for that month that's how I would basically track it. I don't necessarily track every sale. I'll make sure I track my monthly sales and my monthly expenditures, and of course shipping, gas, shipping supplies, anything that I spend for the business. I try to keep track of it that way. That way I can give it to my tax person at the end of the year, and she can handle it in just one swing. Let's see. Butterfly can help with research for Joico and brainstorm other hair care products. Use her expertise. Absolutely, that's a good idea. I'm gonna have to tap in and see what Joico is all about. Let's see. I have had so many big finds that it's not easy to get that same feel-good feeling when you find a great item while sourcing. That's true. And the thing is, once you find some solid items in a thrift store or at Ross, it's almost like you'll be constantly chasing that high to get that same feeling again. And that's what kind of keeps me going, that makes me want to go to these stores every day. The tough part is, most times you go, the majority of the times I go, I might leave with one or two items, maybe three or four. And maybe a couple times a week, I'll leave with, a car full of stuff. But that's just part of the game. You know what I mean? It's part of the whole, chasing that high and doing it that way. But that's why the game plan is switching up soon. I'm going to start providing some different styles of content, some unboxings and stuff like that. And at this point, I'm literally just speaking it into existence. That way, once the business model changes, and I can look back at it and say, yo, I remember when I was speaking this into existence, and this was the game plan, and now we're here. So that's the plan. That's the focus. Been on here for about an hour, 17 minutes. I'm not seeing any other questions. So I definitely appreciate everybody for tuning in to the live show today. We do these every Thursday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Sometimes I might log on here at 6:05, 6:10, but I mean, it is what it is. I'm here, and I'm here for a decent amount of time when I get here. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thanks again for the super chats. I'll be dropping another video tomorrow, probably on some, I'm not exactly sure what the video tomorrow will be, but I'm definitely going to drop a video tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And if you guys got any other questions, make sure you guys drop that in the comment section so I can get to that. Probably do a video on that depending on what the question is. Also, if you guys are interested in the consistency tees, we got them in black and in white. So if you guys are interested in that, I think it's the first link in the description, DapperAdvisor.BigCartel. You can check those out. And make sure you guys use code consistency10 for 10% off your order. And until then, I'll see you guys in another one. Peace.